The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? If you're going to see a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, it helps to know what happened in all the other ones, or you may be lost. Amber and Scott discuss after watching Captain America: Brave New World. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Oh, look, it's the MCU destroying cities again. Yay.
The
MCU.
MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay. If we go to the races, this episode we are talking about Captain America: Brave New World. After meeting with newly elected U.S. President Thaddeus Ross, fluffy marketing, Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident. He must discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red.
I'm kind of wondering how the hell Thaddeus Ross got elected president until I remember that Donald Trump got elected president. So really, it's not that far-fetched.
So Thaddeus Ross had a Hitler mustache, and he basically got elected because he shaved the mustache. So you want to talk about what would you do? Anytime you want any sort of position of power, do some personal rebranding and definitely get rid of any Hitler-esque type features you might have going on.
I think getting rid of Hitler-esque features is just a good...
Regardless if you're running for office or not.
Regardless, yeah.
Yeah, if you're walking around with a Hitler mustache just cause, don't do that.
That's funny, actually. And we had the other movie with the Hitler mustache, too. When Love Hurts, when he...
Oh, yeah. When they kept drawing on the bus benches. So...
It's a good week for Hitler mustaches.
Yeah, that was Love Hurts. So I fell asleep during this film. I had a good nap during the time that President Ross turned into some sort of Red Hulk and rampaged through the city, tearing apart everything and everyone. There was a lot of noise, a lot of destruction, and I snored through it. So the Marvel Universe is not my BFF. Unfortunately, these movies are not self-contained. So if you don't know the broader story of these characters or the world or the universe or any of that kind of stuff, there are so many references to things that don't make sense to you. So this kind of falls into the bucket as Aquaman did for me, in the fact that there's just so many references to other things that I could not follow. That said, what would you do if you were Captain America and...
Were?
Yes, were. And the president, who used to be evil, but somehow now we're like, oh, he's rebranded and he's good now and he's out for the common good.
He wasn't evil. He was just a hot-headed general.
Yes. And he comes to you and says, hey, we need you, and we want you to put the Avengers back together, and you're going to think about it. What would you do? Because Sam thought about it. Now, we'll go on further in the movie in a moment, though. But for that time being, Sam thought about it. Would you be thinking about it, or would you jump on that opportunity?
I'd jump on it.
Jump on it.
Listen, if you got any questions about the president and his ability to lead and stuff like that, like, you might want to get a few friends around you that are super as well. That way, if you need to deal with something like this, it's not just you, it's, a slew of people as well.
Yeah.
So, yes, I jump all over that. Reassemble the Avengers.
Yeah, it's good to have people on your side. So hopefully you're all on the same page representing United Front when you have conversations with President Ross. So the next part of the film goes into this guy who had previously been incarcerated by the government, had been experimented on for something like 30 years.
Yeah, former super soldier, which is, just so you know, and again, I know you're not super acquainted, like the original Captain America had this thing called a super soldier serum, which basically just made you faster, stronger, better, etc. It doesn't make you immortal or anything.
Well,
but
that sounds like $6 Million Man to me.
Yeah, so there were several people that ended up taking that over time. Though I did find it interesting that this particular Captain America did not take a super soldier serum. He was just basically going off the power of the suit, which, let me tell you, he took a few shots that I'm like, if you don't have a serum, I'm not sure how you survive that, but...
So the character I asked you about, his name was Isaiah Bradley, and he had every reason to be disgruntled over what had happened to him, what the government had done to him, keeping him incarcerated, testing on him for all those years. And he winds up being Sam / Captain America's invited special guest to the White House for a party. And long story short, he has some light flashes through his phone at him, which put him into a trance to shoot at the president, along with 4 or 5 other people that are on the security detail, and they have no recollection of it after. And they're thrown into prison, holding, whatever, and accused of trying to murder the president.
Well,
and
it's because they saw them whip out guns and try to shoot the president.
that's true. So Sam obviously wants to exonerate Isaiah because Isaiah has no memory of anything that happened. But obviously, just based on his past, it wouldn't be surprising to think he would do something like this. So what would you do if one of your friends was accused of some terrible crime and had no way to prove his innocence?
Well, I mean, if I knew, like truly, truly knew that he was innocent,
Well, you know based on what you know in the film.
yeah, I mean, I feel like he knew enough.
I mean, you saw him do it, but
Yeah.
you think there was
Yeah, I
something
mean, yes,
more
there
to
was enough. There was sure. I mean, I'd investigate it. I mean, if the only thing between the electric chair and my friend is my investigation, then I'm probably going to investigate.
Probably, or you're going to. Come on,
I mean,
commit.
if I'm Captain America and I've got those kind of resources, I'm definitely going to.
Okay. So what would you do if the rest of the movie you were doing a bunch of stuff and then you bored some girl in the audience?
Yeah, like I think if you just ignore some of the parts,
There's so many though.
there really weren't. Not in this film.
That's what you say because
in
it
many
makes
of the
sense to
MCU
you.
movies there are, but there were definitely fewer outside references in this. Like this truly could be a fully self-contained
No.
story.
No. Like, why did Bruce Banner have this girlfriend who was upset and wouldn't talk to her dad and the whole the whole adamantium thing, all I could keep thinking of is Adam Ant as the musician and kept thinking about the song Ant Music or in all of Adam Ant's other songs. And every time they mentioned Antium, I had Wild Frontier go through my mind.
I really need to look.
Ant Music go through my mind.
I really need to look up the MCU timeline because I know that they are out there of like the timeline of the various movies and where they go. Because if they're just finding adamantium, then Wolverine's not a thing yet. And
And what's with Celestial Island? There were so many little references that I didn't know what they meant. So what would you do?
yeah, what was Celeste?
Yeah, there was stuff I just didn't understand. It did not make sense. They did not understand it. If you watch these movies all the time, I'm sure it all came together for you. And if you're familiar with it from comic books, I'm sure it all made sense to you. I'm not saying at all that my views are representative of people who actually are into this genre.
Yeah, I'm trying
It
to
made
think.
perfect sense to them.
I'm trying to think what that was. It looked a little bit like it was Galactus, but that
You're
would have
literally talking.
that would have
to me
been
right now.
way too small for Galactus.
So it turns out that President Ross had actually been drugged over time. He was dying and he went to some evil person with a brain on the outside of his head. Again, outside of the scope of explaining what all that was in the movie.
Well,
And-
it sounds like the experimenting on him caused his brain to become like that.
Yeah. So what would you do if you thought someone was trying to help you and then you found out they had been drugging you to be able to take control over you?
I probably wouldn't be thrilled. I mean, it might miff me a little. I might become perturbed.
This is scintillating episodes you've come to expect from us folks. I might be perturbed.
I might be perturbed. I mean, I don't know, man. The ability to, I mean, if the side effect is that I can become a big, giant red behemoth that can just smash the shit out of everything in my path, I mean, not bad.
And yet you can grow that big and your pants grow and then you shrink again and you still have pants on.
Yeah. I think they just didn't want to show his dick. Like, I agree. That was like, I'm like, no, those pants, he's not wearing pants.
Yeah. No, I'm sure having Harrison Ford pantless is probably not within the budget. And I would say it wasn't very family friendly, but they did cuss in this movie, which I thought was unfortunate because there's no reason to not just make it completely clean and green G-rated movie. But I guess having Harrison Ford without pants would have been on other level.
Yeah.
But the whole shrinking and expanding of the pants did not make sense in a movie that didn't make sense, but
Yeah. I mean, the movie made sense. It was your typical superhero arc movie, big on effects. Like,
so what would you do if you were tasked with having the responsibility of protecting the United States because you had these super abilities?
I mean, if it's me, if Captain America gave me his shield and said, "You're up, boy," I probably would have been
God
like,
help us all.
I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah, we're doomed.
Yeah, if Captain America gives me the shield, it's a bad day for America.
It is.
It's a bad day.
You'd set it down, forget where you put it down, get sidetracked with having a cherry turnover, and then you'd have to watch some football or some wrestling, and then you'd remember you set the shield down, and you'd have to find it, and then ding dong, an Amazon delivery would come, and then you'd go and unwrap your package, and then you start assembling whatever it is that you bought, and then you go to sleep for the night, and you're like, seems like I was supposed to do something today.
That's a fairly accurate representation of what my day would be like.
Heaven help America.
Yeah, I would leave the shield. The shield would probably end up in the freezer. Like I'd be like, has anyone seen my shield? Did you check the freezer? Oh, yeah, that's where I put it.
We need to protect the real Captain America.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.